welcome to Yoga with Claude. My name is Claudia, and today I'll be leading us through a flow to stretch and strengthen the entire body, as well as reconnect to the breath and to the present moment. So we'll get started in a seated position, straightening through the spine. You can place your hands on top of the knees, maybe palms face down if you wish to ground into yourself. Maybe palms face up if you wish to receive some energy today. Gently close the eyes or find a soft gaze. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out through the mouth. Taking these first few moments here to connect to the breath, noticing how the air flows in and out of your body. Noticing where you may be holding tension in the body. See if you can relax the muscles of your face. Relax the jaw. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears, straightening through the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Throughout this class, we use the breath to anchor us to the present moment, helping us reconnect. So take a few moments to still the mind here. Notice how it feels to be completely immersed in the present moment, noticing any sensations you may be feeling, anything you may hear, smell. Let's take 3 deep breaths in all together. Deep breath in through the nose, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Another deep breath in. Exhale, side out. One more inhale here. Sip in some extra air at the top. Exhale, let it go. Float open the eyes here. On your inhale, reach your arms up and overhead for a big stretch up, gazing over the fingertips. Exhale, float your right hand down to the mat. Reach your left arm up and over for a side body stretch. Inhale, reach and lengthen through the left arm. Exhale, float it over to the left side. Plant the left hand, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, reach and lengthen through that right side. Exhale, float it back to center. Let's take it one more time. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Exhale, float it to the other side. Inhale to the right side. Exhale, come back to center. Now call your right fingertips behind you. Place your left hand on your right knee. Gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, straighten through the spine. Exhale, release into your chest. Let's take another deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. And let's bring it to the other side. Right hand to right knee. Left fingertips crawl behind you. Gaze over the left shoulder. Deep breath in, straighten through the spine. Exhale, release into your chest. Another deep breath in. And deep breath out. And come back through center. Make your way into a child's pose. Bring your knees wide to the edges of your mat. Toes can come together. Press the hips back. Reach the fingertips forwards. Forehead comes to the mat. Grounding yourself here. Find a little bit of movement. Just kind of moving side to side. Beginning to create some open space in the hips. And take a deep breath in. Notice how your shoulder blades expand apart as you fill the back body with air. Take another deep breath in here. Deep breath out. We'll take some hip circles in this child pose. Come forward onto the elbows. And we're just going to circle around in one direction, pressing the hips back again. Inhale to come forward to the elbows. Exhale, press it back. And if you notice a spot that's particularly tight, maybe you hold it there. Opening up the hips here, and then reverse your circle. Press back to your child's pose. One more deep breath in. Exhale to rise to a tabletop. Realign your knees so they're underneath your hips. And then crawl your hands forward, melt the chest down to the mat, puppy pose. You can bring your forehead to the mat, or maybe your chin is on the mat and you're looking forwards. If you wish to find an even deeper stretch through the shoulder blades, you can tent the hands here so that creates more space for the chest to melt down to the mat. Take some deep breaths in, opening through the heart space. One more inhale wherever you are. Exhale, slowly curl back up to your tabletop. We'll take some cat-cow flows here. On your inhale, drop the belly, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, curl the spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Again, inhale to drop the belly, gaze lips. Exhale, curl the spine, tuck chin to chest. And now follow your own breath for a few times here. Beginning to warm up the spine. And take this movement in whatever way feels right for you. Maybe you incorporate some circles of the hips and the shoulders. Maybe even incorporating the head and the neck. Making this your practice. Fluid movements here. Let's take one more cycle of breath. And then find your way back to a neutral spine. On your inhale, drop your hips so you're at the top of a push-up position here. Maybe you need to scooch the hands forwards. And we're going to lower the body down to the mat. So a modified chaturanga here. Hug your elbows into your rib cage. Elbows should be pointing straight back as you lower the body to the mat with control. Strong arms. And then come all the way down. Inhale to find a baby cobra, shining the heart forwards, using the muscles of the back here, shoulder blades squeezing together. You can see if you're lifting through the back here by maybe lifting your hands off of the mat, or you can keep them on. Let's take another deep breath in here. Exhale, press back to a child's pose. On your inhale, ripple the spine forward, again finding that top of a push-up position. Exhale, strong arms as you lower the body down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Lift the chest. Exhale, press back to your child's pose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, spine ripples forward like a wave. Top of a push-up. Exhale, lower the body down, elbows grazing ribcage. Inhale, you can come to your baby cobra, or you can press up to an upward facing dog here, maybe even lifting the thighs. Your choice of back bend. If you're in this upward facing dog, gaze over your right shoulder, lift your right hip off of the mat. And then gaze over the left shoulder, lift the left hip off the mat. Back through center, press back to your child's pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, rise to your tabletop. From From here, curl both toes underneath you. Inhale here. Exhale to lift your knees to a hover, finding your bear pose, engaging through the core, sucking your belly button into your spine here, pressing down through all four corners of the hands. Strong connection, shoulders all the way down, the arms through the wrists. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale to press the hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. First downward dog of class here, pedal it out. Bringing some awareness, some movement now into the lower body. Maybe you sway the hips side to side, pedal the feet. Notice how this downward dog feels, checking in. And then let's find some stillness here. Heels draw down towards the mat, and then melt the chest towards the tops of the thighs, open through the shoulders. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's take another inhale. And exhale, side out. On your next inhale, bend your knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, find your way to the top, maybe taking a few little steps here, maybe a hop. Meeting in our ragdoll pose, grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. Let the body hang here, let yourself release. Then on your next inhale, find a halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins, back is flat. Exhale, fold. Let's take that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, now we're rising all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up and overhead. Gaze follows the fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Take a moment here. Reconnect to that breath. Feel your heart beating. Feel this warmth and energy in the body. Another deep breath in. Deep breath out. Open the eyes. Release the hands. Will flow through our sun A. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, dive it down into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back now to a high plank. We'll hold here for a few breaths. Same thing, sucking that belly button into the spine, maybe shifting back and forth here to find your footing. Get your body accustomed to this pose. And then for a chaturanga, you have some choices. You can keep the knees lifted if you're feeling strong today, or you can drop the knees to come to that top of a push-up that you did earlier in class. Take an inhale wherever you are. On your exhale, you're lowering the body down to the mat with control, elbows grazing rib cage. Inhale to find your back bend of choice. I'm choosing an upward facing dog here. Exhale, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll flow that through 2 more times, a little bit faster now. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, float it down, matching breath to move. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Option to drop the knees as you take your chaturanga. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forwards. Exhale, find your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. We're moving energy around here. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forwards. Exhale, find your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, close the eyes, take a breath in. Breath out. Another inhale. Reconnect. Open the eyes here. We'll move through our sun B now. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, sink the hips down and back, finding your Utkatasana chair pose. Yogi's choice if you'd like to have your feet hip width distance apart, or maybe you scooch them in so that they are touching. Wherever you are, you sit the hips down and back like you're in a chair. Weight is in the heels here and the backs of the feet. See if you can even lift the toes to make sure your weight is poured back. Hugging the inner thighs together, squeezing belly button in towards the spine. Reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, sink it. See if you can sink it a little bit lower, firing up the quads here. One more breath in. Exhale, release into your forward fold, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Option to drop the knees as always as we take our chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, we're stepping our right foot forward to the top of the mat, and we're finding our warrior one footing, pivoting that back foot to a 45-degree angle. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, sink the hips down, settling in our warrior one. Hips are squared towards the front of the mat here, lifting up through the abdomen, lifting up through the chest. Fingertips reach up and overhead, finding an active lifting here through the upper body while we're keeping that strong bend in the right knee. See if you can even sink it a little bit lower. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Step back into your high plank. If you'd like an extra challenge, maybe you keep that right leg lifted as you lower down into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. On your next inhale, left leg rises up high, three-legged dog. Exhale to step your left foot forward between the hands. Pivot that back foot. Inhale, arms rise, finding your warrior one. Exhale, settle it down, sink the hips down. Same thing, make sure your hips are facing forwards, lifting up through the upper body, shining the chest forward, reaching those arms up high, finding that active lift while you're keeping a nice strong bend in that left knee. Take another deep breath in here. Exhale, float the hands down to the mat. Step back to your high plank, maybe keeping left leg lifted this time as you take your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, find your way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit the hips back. Arms reach up and overhead. We're finding our chair pose again. This time, see if you can sink it a little bit lower, lifting up through the core here, reaching those fingertips up high. Exhale, sink the hips down a little bit more. You got this. One more deep breath in. Exhale, rise to standing. Maybe close the eyes here, shake out the legs if you wish. Take a few breaths, maybe place your hands over your heart, feel the heart beating. Let's come back to this present moment. Find your breath. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down. We'll keep flowing. On your inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, gaze follows fingertips. Exhale, dive it down, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to your high plank. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right leg rises up high, three-legged dog. Exhale, pull your right knee to your left elbow across the body. Inhale, rise back up to your three-legged dog. Exhale, pull your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, take it back up. Exhale, pull your right knee into your chest. Inhale, extend it back up. And then exhale, we're going to step our right foot all the way forward. This time finding our crescent lunge so the back toes can stay curled. On your inhale, reach your hands up and overhead. Exhale, let's sink those hips down low. Inhale, reach your fingertips back. Find a slight arch of the back, shining through the heart space here, stretching through that our left hip flexor muscle. Take another deep breath in here. Exhale, we're opening into our warrior two. Pivot the back foot, open the arms out to the side, gazing over our right fingertip. This time our hips are facing the horizontal side of our mat, but our gaze is going up to the front of the mat, over those right fingertips, making sure the shoulders and the hips are both facing the side of the mat here. You can take a peek at both shoulders, make sure they're in line. Strong bend in the right knee here. Inhale to lean forward, flip the right palm. Exhale, find your peaceful warrior. Reach your right arm up and overhead. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, find your side angle. Elbow can come to the knee, left arm reaches up and over. Let's take another flow. Inhale, come back to your peaceful warrior. Right arm reaches up and over. Exhale, side angle. This time, if you wish to take that extended side angle, you may do so, bringing your right hand down to the mat. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Option to take a half bind by bringing your left hand behind the low back, opening up the chest towards the sky. If a full bind is within your practice, you can reach under that right leg to grab a hold of the left hand. If you're in either half or full bind, open up that left shoulder, shining through the heart space. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, begin to unravel and unwind. Press into your right leg to rise up to that warrior two. Hold the bend for an inhale. Exhale, straighten that right leg. Inhale, lean forward, flip the right palm. Exhale, find your reverse triangle. Deep breath in here. Exhale, come back through center. Push your hips out towards the left side as you lean forward towards the right until you can't go any further, and then drop your right hand down to your ankle or maybe to the mat, gazing over those left fingertips, finding our triangle pose. Finding a balance here between strength and stillness. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, bring your left hand down to the mat. Pivot the back toes so both toes are facing forward to the front of the mat, finding our pyramid pose here. Maybe you scooch that back foot in a little bit. On your inhale, find a halfway lift here, back is flat. Exhale, fold the forehead towards the shin. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and we'll hold it here. You can have a nice bend in that right knee. It doesn't need to be completely straight. Maybe you keep your hands out in front of you here. Maybe you experiment with crawling them behind. Wherever you are, see if you can release the upper body over top of the right shin. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, bring your hands back to frame your right foot, bend into that right knee so we find our crescent lunge. From here, we're going to come into a standing splits. So adjusting your footing if you need to, begin to pour your weight into your right foot as you kick off of the left leg. Reaching that left leg up high to the sky, finding your standing splits. You can keep hands on the mat for balance. Maybe you play with bringing one hand behind the right ankle. Maybe you play with both hands grabbing hold of the right ankle. Wherever you are is exactly where you are supposed to be. Your hands are on your ankle. Now bring them back to the mat. You're going to transition into a warrior three. Use the strength of your core to lift the upper body off of the mat so that it is parallel to the floor. Hands can come into prayer, or maybe you float them behind you, airplane arms. Maybe you float them out in front of you. Find your drishti, your point of balance, your gaze point. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale, rise to standing. Shake out the legs, beautiful job. We'll take a vinyasa here. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left leg rises up high, three-legged dog. Exhale, pull your left knee to your right elbow across the body. Inhale, reach it up high. Exhale, pull left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend it up. Exhale, pull left knee into your chest. Inhale, kick it back up one more time. Exhale, step it forward, finding our crescent lunge, back toes stay curled. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, sink the hips down low. Strong bend in the left knee. Inhale, gaze up towards the fingertips and reach them back. Opening your heart up towards the sky here. Finding a slight back bend, stretching through that right hip flexor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open to your warrior two. Pivot that back foot. Open the arms. Making sure your shoulders are in line. Hips and shoulders stacked over each other. Gazing over top of that left fingertip. Strong bend in the left knee. Then inhale, lean forward, flip the left palm. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side angle, left elbow can come to the left knee. Right arm reaches up and over. We'll take that flow one more time. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. This time you can find your extended side angle if you wish, bringing left hand down to the mat, gazing over the top of right fingertips. Maybe you take that half bind, bringing your right hand behind the low back. Maybe you take the full bind, opening up that chest, that right shoulder towards the sky, stretching through that left hip, lifting through the upper body, finding the balance between strength and stillness. Take one more breath in wherever you are. Exhale, begin to unwind here, press into that left leg, rise back up to your warrior two, hold the bend, then extend that left leg. Inhale, lean forward, flip the left palm. Exhale, reverse triangle, reach that left arm up and overhead. Exhale, come back through center. Push your hips out to the right this time, leaning towards the left. When you can't go any further, drop the left hand. You can find your shin or your ankle, or maybe it finds the mat, reaching those right fingertips up to the sky. Triangle pose. Take one more breath in here. Exhale to bring that right arm down to the mat. Frame your left foot and then pivot your right toes so both toes are facing forwards now. Inhale to find a lift. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. One more time, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, and now we'll settle here. Maybe you curl the fingertips forwards, maybe you reach them back behind you. See if with each exhale you can release the forehead a little bit further towards your left shin, finding a beautiful stretch through that left hamstring. Maybe noticing if the sides are different here. And just accepting yourself in whatever way you show up in this shape. Knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale to bring your hands back to frame that left foot. We're coming into our half split. Maybe you adjust the feet here. Pour your weight into your left leg and then kick your right foot up to the sky. Maybe you keep your hands on the mat here. Maybe you begin experimenting with placing one hand on the left ankle, maybe both hands, embracing these wobbles, playing with the balance. Take one more breath in. Exhale, bring your hands back to the mat, and we'll use the core here to lift up into that warrior three. Bring your hands to prayer. Body is parallel to the mat here. Maybe you extend the arms behind you, airplane arms. Maybe you float them out in front of you. Coming back to the breath here, feeling strong. This moment is temporary. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, rise to standing, shake out the legs. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Take your last chaturanga of class here, strong arms. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's find stillness here, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Maybe noticing how this downward dog compares to the first one of class. Maybe you're able to sink a little deeper. Maybe you feel a little bit more open. Let's take another breath in here. Exhale. Bend the knees, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, we're gonna step our feet to the outside of our hands here. And then we're gonna sit the hips down so that we come into our yogi squat. Bring your hands to a prayer position. This is too much for the hips. You can keep yourself up a little bit higher. If you have a block, you can choose to sit on that block as well. Bring the hands to a prayer position, pressing the knees apart, seeing if you can straighten through the back as much as possible. Close the eyes, take a breath in, and a breath out. And place your left hand down to the mat. Reach your right arm up high to the sky for a twist. And then take it to the other side. Plant the right hand. Reach your left arm up high for a twist. Come back through that yogi squat. And then with control, we'll come into a seat. As much control as you can, dropping your bottom down to the mat. And we'll find a boat pose here. So bring your knees to a tabletop position. Maybe you keep your hands on the mat here. Maybe you can extend your hands out in front of you. Maybe you stay here. You can experiment with extending the legs, maybe doing so one at a time. Maybe you just keep yourself here with your hands on the mat. Wherever you are, find that strength. Embrace the heat, embrace the wobbles. This moment is temporary. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale with control. We'll lower down to the mat. Pull your knees into your chest, rock side to side. Good job. Sending some love to yourself, to your body. And then we'll find a happy baby. Grab the outer soles of your feet. Pull your knees into the armpits and again find a nice rock side to side. And then gently release your feet down to the mat. We'll find a bridge pose here. Knees pointed up to the sky, hands are pressed down into the mat by your sides. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lift your hips off of the mat using the muscles of the glutes to raise them up high. Maybe you keep your hands down on the mat, maybe you interlace them underneath you, scooching your shoulder blades underneath you as well. Taking a few breaths in here, stillness and strength. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release under your hands if they were crossed behind you. Let's find a figure four now. Bring your left ankle over top of the right knee. And maybe you stay here, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, you can lift that right leg and grab behind the right shin, or maybe behind, wherever you want to, behind the right leg. I'm at a loss for words. Finding a nice stretch in that left glute muscle. Letting your heart rate begin to slow down. And then we will lower our right foot back down to the mat, keeping the crossing of your legs as you begin to drop both knees over to the right side of the body. Extend your left arm out to the side, gazing over the left shoulder, finding a supine twist. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, come back through center. Feet on the mat, knees pointed up to the sky. We'll take it to the other side. Cross your right ankle over top of the left knee. Staying here, lifting that left leg and grabbing behind the left shin, the left knee. Stretching through that right glute muscle. Begin to drop your left foot down to the mat and slowly guide both knees over to the left side, finding your supine twist, extending your right arm out to the right side, gazing over the right shoulder, letting the body release into this beautiful twist. One more breath in here. Exhale, come back through center. And then extend the legs out long. Extending the arms by your sides, finding your Shavasana. Closing the eyes here, letting the body feel very heavy and very relaxed. Bringing the awareness back to the breath. And letting the benefits of this practice sink in. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Begin to bring some awareness back into the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe extending your arms up and overhead for a final full body stretch. If you have the time to remain in Shavasana, I encourage you to do so. If you are ready to continue on with your day, gently make your way up to a seat. Maybe rolling onto your side first or rocking yourself up. Finding a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just a few moments longer. And place your hands over your heart or maybe in a prayer position. And take a quick moment to feel some gratitude for yourself, for making the time to show up to your mat, connect to your mind, your body, and your breath. And just know that this inner peace always exists within you. Even if it's hard to find sometimes, it's always there. And with that, we'll finish class with a collective breath. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I wish you love and light and a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, namaste.